So, you did it. Your resume, your cover letter, they got you shortlisted. That's fantastic. But now comes the part that really counts, the group discussion and the job interview. In this explainer, we're going to break down these two final hurdles and turn that nervous energy into a real strategic advantage.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to follow the entire journey, right from the beginning. First, we'll get into why these face-to-face meetings are so important. Then, we'll tackle how to master each one step by step. And finally, we'll pull it all together so you can land that job.
All right, so first things first. Your resume proved you've got the skills on paper, and that got you through the door. But the real evaluation, the thing that actually separates the people who get considered from the person who gets the job, well, that starts now. Let's dig into why. And this quote, this really hits the nail on the head. Modern work isn't about sitting in a silo anymore, right? Employers need to see how you think on your feet, how you communicate, and maybe most importantly, how you work with other people in real time. That's something a piece of paper just can't show them.
And that brings us to the first big hurdle, the group discussion, or GD. Now, I want you to lock on to that phrase, reach a consensus. This is not a debate you have to win. The key thing to remember here is that a GD is all about testing your ability to work with other people to solve a problem, not to steamroll them.
So how do you actually master this thing? It's so easy to think, I've got to be the loudest person in the room or I need to talk the most, right? But honestly, that's a huge mistake. The moderators are looking for something way more subtle. They want to see how you contribute to a team.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because these 4 pillars build a complete picture of you as a candidate. Let's walk through them. First up, you've got content. That's just, what you actually know. Then, communication. And that's not just talking, it's listening too. Next, and this is so important, are your interpersonal skills. This is about basic team etiquette. Are you building on what others say? And finally, leadership. And hey, this doesn't mean being the boss. It could be as simple as summarizing a few points to get everyone back on track. They all work together.
In this slide right here, it shows you exactly how to put those pillars into practice. You'll notice a pattern, right? The do's are all about being constructive. Keep your points short and sweet. Be polite. The don'ts are about being disruptive, talking over people, being negative. You get the idea. Here's a little pro tip for you. If someone cuts you off, you can just politely say, that's a great point. Let me just finish this thought and then I'd love to hear more about it. You stay respectful, but you stay in control. It's all about that professional vibe.
All right, you've navigated the group discussion. Now it's time for the classic one-on-one interview. And here's the secret. I mean, the real secret. Your success here is pretty much locked in before you even walk through the door. It is all about preparation.
So, what do they actually expect you to know before you even show up? Well, they assume you've done your homework. Think about it from their side. They don't want to waste their precious time telling you things you could have easily found online. So the real question is, what does that homework need to look like? And we're talking way more than just a quick glance at their About Us page. You need to really understand where they sit in their industry, who the key players are, and the nitty-gritty of the job itself. Like, for instance, if you see they just launched a new product, you can talk about how your skills could help make it a success. Knowing these details is how you show them you're not just looking for a job, you're looking for this job.
Now, researching the company is absolutely critical. But you know what's just as important? Researching yourself. I mean, think about it. Before you can sell a product, you have to know everything about it, right? Well, the product you're selling here, it's you. What are your unique strengths? How do they line up perfectly with what the company needs? That kind of self-awareness, that's where real confidence comes from.
Okay, prep work is done. You've done your homework on them, you've done your homework on you. It's showtime. Let's break down how to actually execute your game plan when you're in the hot seat.
You know, most interviews follow a pretty predictable path, kind of like this. It kicks off with some small talk, just building rapport. Then, the interviewer might give you the rundown on the company or the role. After that, we get to the main event, the part where they really dig in with questions. And it usually wraps up with your chance to ask smart questions. Understanding this flow helps you pace yourself and stay in the driver's seat.
These best practices from a top firm like the Boston Consulting Group, they really show you what a top-tier candidate's mindset looks like. It's all about being thoughtful. Listen first. Take a second to think before you speak. And whatever you do, don't get defensive. It shows you can think logically and you're open to feedback, and let me tell you, that is a huge, huge plus for any company.
And look, it's not just about what you say. How you act is being watched just as closely. Things like good eye contact and sitting up straight project confidence. Being honest shows you're humble. And here is a golden rule. Seriously, never, ever badmouth a previous employer. It just screams professionalism and shows you've got good emotional intelligence.
You did it! The interview is over, you're feeling good. But wait, you're not done yet. There is one final, simple but super powerful step that you won't believe it, so many people just forget to do.
So here's the bottom line. Sending a prompt, professional thank you note is not optional. You just have to do it. It does 3 really important things. It shows you're grateful for their time, it reinforces that great impression you just made, and it keeps your name right at the top of the list.
We have covered a lot of ground here, right? From the group stuff to the one-on-one interview and even what to do after. So let's boil this all down into your final winning playbook.
Look, if you remember nothing else from our chat today, remember these 3 things. First, preparation is king. Second, try to see things from their perspective. What are they really looking for? And third, and this might be the most important one, change your mindset. This isn't a test, it's a conversation. That simple shift can change the entire dynamic.
So, with all this in your back pocket, the last question isn't for me, it's for you. Armed with these strategies, what are you going to do differently next time? How are you going to use this playbook to turn that next opportunity into a yes?